so what we're going to do today is we're only going to use 3 lures. This is the first one. It's just a little squid. Yeah, this is a spot that I've seen a lot of big fish caught over the years. It's still sinking. I'm just hoping there's not too much weed. Got a howling northwest. We've got too much weed. What we're going to do is we're going to change lures. Right, so I've got a couple of really good squid lures that I use, like surface poppers. Let's have a look. Yeah, all right. Okay. Although it's not too bad. It brings the traditional rough weather. There's howling northwesterlies today. They're probably about 50 kilometres an hour. This is the sort of weather you want to fish for snapper. Now, it's hard enough to catch snapper with bait when you're fishing for them. Catching them on soft plastics is even harder again, but you know, us like the challenge. There's also a couple of little reefs out here. So with the reefs, there's fish that'll hang out in there on the just looking for shelter and that, okay? So what I'm going to do is just turn into the weather. More weed. Righto, we're going to have to change to a floating lure, Famo. This is the spot that we caught a 30-inch Australian salmon a few years ago, so. And I think there might be still a few around, even though, you know, it doesn't really seem that way, but I was going to move further up, but there's not really much point because you want to fish the edge of this dirty water. And what I'll do is I'll bring the camera over in a second and I'll show you how to read the water, okay? Now let me just bring this out here and I'll show you something, right? Okay? I'll show you how to read a waterway, which is very important for when you fish, right? We'll just make sure there's no light wind and alright people, so when you're fishing in salt water, right? When you're fishing in salt water, you've got to look for different conditions, okay? So let's just zoom in on this. So see this here? Whenever you're fishing salt water, okay, and you see this little like wash on the surface, you know that there's a reef there or shallow water underneath it, okay? As the waves build then crash over it, you'll see them. So I know there's one here from memory, just in here there's a little one, okay? So this is where the dirty water is. You can see all this brown water here, right? We're casting into the clean water. The snapper will just swim along that dirty water up and down the coast, just pick everything off at their leisure, okay? That's how they normally do it, all right? So don't expect any miracles today, but sometimes, you know, miracles do happen. So here we go. See this in here, where this white water's come up straight away? That way you know that that's a shallow little area, right? And you know that there's a reef there or some form of structure, which is what we're casting at, okay? So let's bring this back here. Oh, whew, getting blown away today. Absolutely blown away. I'm just going to cast at this little reef that we saw, right? That's actually right on top of it. If there is a fish here, it'll be in this area. Right. But as I said, when you're fishing for snapper and mulloway, this is the perfect condition. A lot of the really hardcore, die-hard fishers don't get out of the house unless the weather's like this, you know. And the other good thing about that, okay, All right, so there you go. Right. Our lure has pulled up clean. Okay, so with that pulling up clean, we can fish here. I'm just going to do a little short range cast in here. Now remember, when you're fishing soft plastics, slow everything down, okay? So what I'm doing, a couple of bumps and I'm going to let it go back to the bottom again. Recovering the line. Yeah, last time, hello little birdies. Yeah, but this is really tough fishing, people. But that's okay, we don't mind a challenge, you know. Okay, now we did hook a bit of weed then early, so what I've done is I've shaken the weed off on the surface. I'm going to let it drop again. Right, and it's the same old story. There's very poor visibility out here. So you just got to keep casting to a variety of different spots, and hopefully you drop a soft plastic in front of a fish's face and it takes it, you know. When you're fishing with soft plastics along here, if you cast fairly close to the jetty, it'll actually block the weed and the fish will sit into little pockets around the pylons. Okay, so what you're doing is you're just gently bouncing the soft plastic. And you want to get it as close to the pylons as possible, but if you're going to do that, you need to make sure that you've got a fairly stiff fishing rod, so if a fish hits, you can drag it out from underneath your feet. Before they rebuilt this jetty after Cyclone Albany in 1979, the old jetty, you could actually just cast under your feet and you would catch heaps of fish. In all fairness, hooking the fish is going to be one issue, but landing the fish is going to be an even bigger issue. But you know, we'll worry about that if it happens. Right, I've got this right underneath the edge of the jetty, in between two pylons, so hopefully something likes to come out and play. All we'll do, people, right, with the poundage of leader that I've got there, okay, what I'll do is I'll just try and bring the fish to the surface, let everyone have a look, and then we'll just ping the leader. All right. You can literally just stand here, right, rod tip down, bump, bump, drop your rod tip again, right, bump, bump, and you can sit there and do that all day. A lot of people do that with the squid fishing, and a lot of people do that with the conventional fishing, and if there's something under there that it tickles its interest, it'll just shoot out and head straight for underneath again, you know. I look like something out of F Troop, don't I? The what was it, the Hekawi tribe? They went to try and find the fort, they got lost and said, you know, where the heck are we? So this stretch here, just behind the first set of waves, especially when the easterlies are blowing off the coast, that's where you get a fair few of your fish. So it's called the Bend, but it's pretty much a hot spot at night. So as you can see, because we're fishing around structure, this is coming up clean. So what I did is I got some lures sent over from overseas to try out, just to use for the shop. Now I haven't seen these ones anywhere, but we're going to try them out today. So there's some really nice surface poppers in a variety of colours, and there's some squid lures. So the squid lure that I want to use today, right, is I'm going to use that one. It's got a bit of pink in it. Now this has very, very poor sort of structural benefits of casting into the wind, so you must cast with the wind, okay? But basically what they are, they're just little squid copies, all right? Now with the cast and that sort of stuff, because you've got so much wind, don't worry about trying to cast it hard, just cast it into the air and the wind will carry it. Watch. See that? Look. That had great air time. So all I did is I cast it this way and the wind swung it round, so it ended up straight. You've got to make allowances for the direction of the wind. So if you've got a wind howling at you this way, you cast about 30 to 45 degrees to the left, so it'll straighten up when you cast and you'll get at your target. You can normally tell a good fishing lure, right? I don't know whether you can see the rod tip. See how the rod tip's pulsing? Now, whoops. Now this is our 3 lure challenge today. So what we've done, we've got 1 lure on there. This is the 2nd lure that we're going to use, so we're only allowed to use 1 more, okay? So what we've got here is a crane swivel rated to 50 pound, which is the line, and then we have the leader, which is fluorocarbon with that, and that's the best way to go. Because the thing is, if you use a crane swivel snap or a snap swivel on here, it'll affect the action of the lure, okay? Now, in these sorts of conditions, even though it's windy, right, if you've got the howling northwesters and you got weed, use surface lures, okay? One of your best lures to use in this sort of conditions, especially with the salmon around, is the good old-fashioned bomber lure from America. Right, these are dynamite. So first thing you do when you do the loop knot, right, is you tie yourself a little granny knot here, right, like that. Give yourself enough line to work with so that when you put it through the eye of the hook, you can tie the knot. So what you do is you bring that right down, then what you do is you clamp it, put that through there, right, boom, and what you've got your tag end above the leader, right, and then what you do is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, put it back through the granny knot, bring that through here, right. So what you do is you form the knot. Now the mistake people make with this is they pull the tag end towards the lure. That makes the knot unravel. What you need to do, right, is you need to pull it away, okay, like that. And then what you end up getting is you get an absolutely Loctite tag end, and you can fish that lure, okay, quite easily. This colour combination here of gold on the bottom and black on top, which was first introduced by the Bomber Company back in the 50s or 60s, has caught more fish than you would be able to poke a stick at. Come on. We just had a little tailor flash behind this lure. So people, the main advantage of this lure, right, especially if you're going to fish conditions like today, which are getting stronger, right, these have got the sonic rattle in them, right, that will let the fish know that you've got it in the water, you know. That's the easiest way to cast as well. You just do a little back cast, you turn your lure over, and then you power cast on your way forward. To increase distance on your cast, you've just got to increase the line speed and the rod speed and the lure speed, which you can do in the one motion. All right, people, what we're going to do, yeah, I am Nitro, this is shocking. The sky's just gone black, okay, with heavy rain clouds. You all have a lovely day. Really sorry about the early end to the stream, but I'm going to get absolutely destroyed here. You have a lovely day.